Welcome to this instructional video from InterTradeIreland's Brexit and Beyond service. In this video, we will provide step-by-step instructions using software on how to complete cross-border import declarations. In this example, the product is carrier bags. We aim to guide you through each of the boxes to be completed in an import declaration, also known as an SAD or SAD form. We hope this provides you with the skills needed to complete your own import declarations. Please note that there are certain pieces of information specific to your business which you'll need to know, such as your EORI number, product commodity codes, and Incoterms, to name a few. If you need more information at any stage, please visit www.brexitandbeyond.intertradeireland.com.
The first piece of information required is a declarant, box 14. This can be the importer, the exporter, or a third party, such as a customs broker. Next is job reference, which is purely used for internal referencing and won't appear on the declaration. We then move on to the number of items. This is per commodity code, so in this example it's 1. Box 2 is for the consignor and consignee information, so where the goods are being imported from, the address, followed by the status of the consignee, direct or indirect representation, the EORI number and address. We're going to assume that Northern Ireland or the UK is outside the EU, so we'll be choosing IM. If the goods were going into a warehouse of any kind, for example, if we were importing beer, it would likely be moving into a customs warehouse, as it would be excisable goods. For non-excisable goods, this box does not need to be completed. Box 30 asks for the location of the goods, which in this case is Dundalk. The country of export, box 15, is the United Kingdom. The country of destination is Ireland, box 17. The currency code, box 22.1, is United Kingdom pounds. And the invoice amount, box 22.2, is £12,500. The value detail, box 12, has a pop-out window to search for validation codes. These relate to the cost of the goods and if there's a relationship between the consignor and the consignee, and if this influenced the price. If this is not the case, then there are usually two options. If the value exceeds or is equal to €20,000 and you're paying customs duty, it is code A. If the value is less or equal to €20,000 and you're paying customs duty, it is code S. Where there is no VAT or duty payable on consignment, then it is code Z. There is a unique code in the Republic of Ireland, whereby if you export more than 70% of the final production figure, you can import raw materials without outlaying VAT. In the current scenario, the UK and Republic of Ireland have said there will be no VAT collected at the point of entry, so there is a high likelihood that it will be code S and A. Next up, we have payment details. Box 47.5 asks for the method of payment, which can be payment in cash, a deferred customs system, or other public department. Most people will have to pay the Irish revenue at the point of entry, and this is usually through a deferment system. You will either have your own deferment system or you'll use a third-party deferment system, such as a customs broker. The deferred payment code, box 48, uses the VAT number of the declarant or the consignee. Next, we have the transport information. Box 20 asks for the delivery terms, known as Incoterms. You'll need to know which delivery terms you'll be using, as each one comes with its own specific rules. For example, who is responsible for the goods and the paperwork, and at what stage. We will choose Ex Works for this example, which means that this rule places minimum responsibility on the seller, who merely has to make the goods available, suitably packaged, at the specified place, usually the seller's factory or depot. We now state the terms of delivery place, box 20.2. And the terms of delivery situation in box 20.3, we will assume this will be outside the EU. Moving on to box A, Office of Import-Export, a pop-out box will allow us to choose the code for Dundalk. The mode of transport will be road, entered into box 26. The identity at departure or arrival is the truck registration number. Because the Irish company is collecting the goods, the registration of the truck is provided in box 18. Box 29 is the Office of Entry-Exit, and again this will be Dundalk, shown as a code. And box 25 asks for the mode of transport at the EU border, which will be road. The nationality of the transport crossing the EU border is Ireland, as it's an Irish truck. This is listed in box 21.2. We will now move on to transport documentation information, as the transport is all by road. Then we will list road consignment. Note, we can use the same reference number for the trade reference. Edit documents. We now provide some documents and the serial number or some reference which are associated with the consignment. For example, a customs valuation form if the goods are more than €20,000. Value build-up. This is to record charges and discounts. The values added for this example are transport costs, then insurance costs, then other transport costs, for example, if it was a rushed order. There are other options for trade discounts or a credit note due. We can also add buying commission, as this needs to be accounted for customs papers. Edit SAD items. Box 34A asks for the country of origin. We will assume this is a normal movement from Northern Ireland into Ireland. The 3-digit preference code in box 36A indicates whether a reduction in or relief from import duty applies. In this example, we're using a normal tariff arrangement, code 100, which stands for all cases where no preference but the normal third country rate is applied. This is followed by the gross weight in box 37A and the net weight in box 37B, both of which are in kilograms. Box 37A is the customs procedure codes, which identify the customs and or excise regimes which goods are being entered into and removed from, where this applies. The normal code in most cases for permanent normal exports is 1000. In this example, we're using 4000 because of the type of goods in this example. In box 37, the majority of codes will be 000. If you will be using these other codes, You'll likely know this information prior to the import declaration. Moving on to package details, we enter the number of packages in box 31.5. And in box 31.6, we enter what the packages are said to contain. Box 31.3 asks for the type of package, of which there are many options. Moving on to goods information in box 33.1, we are asked for the commodity code. You should already know which code you'll be using. Please note it will be required to be 8 digits long. Box 33.2 asks for the tariff code, which are additional codes, but again, you should know this information. Under the VAT rate declaration, some goods are 0 VAT rated, but we'll assume the VAT is 23%. Box 41 is not required for this example, but it's where you would list supplementary units. This is another opportunity to enter the VAT at 23% again. Please note, for purposes of UK to Ireland with the agreement in place, there will be no VAT collectible for the first 12 months. Moving on to value information, there are 3 options: the previous document, an initial declaration for a one-off shipment, or a summary declaration. It is recommended an invoice number or a packaging list is added here. For cross-border goods, it's likely to be the case that a pro forma invoice is listed here, as the final invoice may not be raised until the next day, due to the speed of movement cross-border. In the Documents section, another reference is listed here, in this case the invoice number, which will help with any audit trails. And finally, general declaration will refer to very few and only applies when the importer has applied and obtained a general valuation authorization number. Now we're ready to view the import declaration. You'll see that all the information entered has been placed in the respective fields.